Hey there, everybody. How's it going? So we've got a new week. Not a whole lot of new content, but we do have a new boss battle simulator, and we will get to that in a minute because they've made some good changes. I think what I think are good changes to the boss battle simulator model. But before we get to that, I think I want to get to something that's a bit more important that some people might have missed, and that is the change in the Premier Gacha system. So they actually did do an announcement about this last week. And so this was the original announcement, just sort of explaining, that certain gacha tickets were going to expire. Because if you missed it in the news, in the September, October news update, version 2.0 is coming with the 1 year anniversary. And so that's a major update. So anytime you go from like a 1 point something to a 2.0, that's a major update. And apparently they're doing something pretty major with the Premier Gacha system, to the point where, old tickets are simply not going to work anymore. So it is important to understand that your Premier Gacha tickets, any event Gacha tickets, and even these limited time tickets, the yellow ones that you can only use on certain banners, all of these will expire, and they will expire on October 7th. So the maintenance that's happening on October 7th, once that maintenance hits, all those tickets are essentially useless. They are expired. Now, with regards to the yellow tickets, if you have some yellow tickets that you didn't use back during the events, those will actually get converted into the new Premier Gacha ticket after maintenance. And so you'll have however many of these limited time tickets you might have had because maybe you just forgot to pull on the banner, or you thought you could save them for like a future banner or something like that. If you have any of those left in your inventory, those will get converted to the new Premier Gacha ticket. Now, something that I think is important to note this week is that this week is the last week to use the current Premier Gacha. Those are the blue tickets. So if you have any blue tickets, okay, so the Premier Gacha tickets, if you have any of these, and if you acquire any blue tickets this week, you will need to use those by October 7th. Those tickets will cease to exist. They won't work on anything. They will disappear. They will actually be removed from your account after maintenance when they do the 2.0 version upgrade. So they don't have to be used this week, okay? But they have to be used before the big update on October 7th. So If you've been saving those up and you've just got a bunch of them stored up and stored away, make sure that you use those by October 7th. Now, what's going to happen is that they're going to kind of phase this new Premier Gacha in, and so there's going to be a maintenance next week. And after that maintenance, there's going to be a new Premier Gacha. That's what this new notice is telling us. So what they'll do is they're going to add a gacha that can be used by consuming only your current Premier Gacha tickets after next maintenance, and you cannot use crystals on that one. So the current one that we have right now, so basically they're going to have the Premier Gacha that looks like this, but you won't be able to use crystals on it anymore. Okay, so it'll basically be the same Premier Gacha with the same units and everything that you can pull, but you just won't be able to use crystals on it anymore, okay? And that will be open until October 7th, at which point this one will disappear completely. All right, you won't be able to pull on that one anymore. That's why you need to use all your current tickets on this banner before October 7th. Now, they'll also add a separate one that's going to be sort of the new Premier Gacha. And any tickets you get after the 17th can be used on the new Premier Gacha. And you can use those until October 7th of 2026. So they're doing a big overhaul apparently to the Gacha system, or at least to the Premier Gacha system. My hope is that what they're going to do is they're actually going to stop having all these limited banners, and they're actually going to start incorporating units that come out into the Premier Gacha. So, my hope is that some of these limited time units that we've all just been kind of like saving up for, crossing our fingers, hoping they would do a rerun. My hope is that those are going to get put into the new Premier Gacha so that we can actually pull for them with the new blue tickets that we're going to start getting after next week. That's my hope. They haven't given us any kind of clue as to what it's actually going to do, but that's just something that I think everyone needs to know and be aware of. So use your blue tickets before they are gone. Use them or lose them. So in that vein, I'm going to go ahead and use the ones that I have. I've only got 12 of them because I've been burning them. I've been burning my Premier Gacha. I'm not much of a hoarder. When I get the itch to pull, I like to just pull. So I just come in here and use whatever I've got. So I'm going to go ahead and do some pulls on the Premier Gacha because you got to use them or else you'll lose them. All right. So let's do this. Boom. Oh, look at that. No golds. What do you know? That's pretty typical. That's about right. Nice. All right. Let's just do the 2 singles that we got here. And just go ahead and burn them up. I don't really care. There you go. Yep, a bunch of bronze and silvers. That's about right. Now, I will say they've also, for this week during the Boss Battle Simulator, they are rerunning Patisserie Mini. I've already done reviews on this unit. She's a great SP generator. She can do a little bit of damage. She's kind of like the 1-star Marie, but on steroids, because she can actually deal competent damage. You just gotta have five buffs on her or more, and she will regen 25% SP every turn for you, which is pretty great. Of course, you still got Vanellope and Wreck-It Ralph up here, and I will say they have added some banner tickets. So. That's before I get into the boss sim. I just want to show you they did make some updates to the boss battle simulator for this week. So the number of challenge attempts has been changed from 10 to 30. Thank the Lord. Oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this. I've been saying, those of you that have followed me for a while know I have been just absolutely, riding or just riding the hate train for the limited number of attempts that we get on the boss battle simulator. And I gotta say 30 feels like a really nice number. I mean, honestly, I wish there was some way you could increase the number of attempts, like either through items or stamina or something like that. But I think this strikes a nice balance because there are a lot of people that are like, no, I don't want there to be like infinite numbers of runs. I think increasing the number to 30 was a really nice move. I'm really glad that they did that because it feels like I'm not stressing quite as much about the RNG and about the chances of just having 10 really crappy runs in a row, which depending on the boss can easily happen sometimes. So 30, I think, strikes a nice balance. I'm really glad that they did that. Now, it does say this may be changed in the future depending on the circumstances. I don't know what that means. Maybe if a boss is particularly difficult, they'll increase that number, or maybe they'll decide to decrease that number. I don't know. Who knows? But for this boss sim, at least, you get 30 chances per day at the boss, which is really nice. They've also changed some of their rewards, so they've increased the number of attack cubes in the second battle, or the attack and defense cubes from 1 to 3. That's always nice. More stuff is always good. And so, however, it looks like they've taken them out of the. It looks like they've taken them out of the challenge rewards, put upgrade pixels in place of that. It says, additionally, the 20 blue crystals have been replaced with 1 limited time gacha ticket, Wreck-It Ralph. So that's where we're getting the limited time gacha ticket. So I assume that means we'll get seven Wreck-It Ralph gacha tickets for this week. And if you saw my reviews on the 2 units, my suggestion is throw them at Vanellope. But yeah, that's just me. And yeah, you can see the list of strikers that we have, which is always nice to see. Okay, so now let's get to the boss sim. All right, that's what we're here for this week. So yeah, you can go ahead and you can see my score. You can see I've used, I've done 11 runs so far. So still got 19 runs left to go, which is really nice. I haven't felt stressed about it, which is really great. And it's allowed me to sort of tweak my team a little bit and tweak the rotation on that team. The damage bonus units are strictly Wreck-It Ralph. So basically, it's gonna, the top scorers are all gonna have Ralph basically on the team. So if you have Ralph, you should be able to do pretty well. Obviously, Vanellope's really great too, but she's going to be spending most of her time buffing, so the damage bonus isn't really that great on her. Felix, Felix is useful if you just have no other good units, but sadly his damage is still pretty bad, even with the damage bonus. But if you just don't have a lot of strong units, definitely chuck him in there, chuck him in the mix, because even just doing his normal attack is going to deal a pretty good amount of damage. The boss is susceptible to defense breaks, but you can't hit him with anything else. So you can't break his attack. You can't inflict him with any kind of ailments or anything like that. So defense breakers work really well here, but nothing else really matters. If we check the damage rankings, you'll see the top teams are basically running the same group. So top teams are basically running Ralph. Since today's a Blue Striker Day, you'll see a lot of people running Adventurous Girl Rapunzel, okay, because she's a double Blue Striker. If you don't have her, you can do like me. I don't have her, so I'm using Hero Mickey, who's the next best Blue Striker that we have. You'll definitely see somebody, you'll either have Queen or you'll have Doofy there for your attack booster. So you want to have an attack booster on the party. And all your top teams are going to have, of course, Enchanted Princess Belle for your crit buffs. A lot of people are running Ursula for the HP regen, the SP charge, and the damage reduction, because the boss does like to hit your party. And he can hit pretty hard since you can't break his attack. You want to bring damage reduction to reduce the incoming damage. So yeah, all your top teams are basically going to be covering those bases. I'm just, I'm throwing the best team that I have at it, and I'll show you what I've got going on with this team. So, yeah, here we go. So this is basically the core team that I'm going to be using all week. My core team is just going to be Doofy, Genie, Moana, and Belle, and then Hero Mickey is just like my Color Striker slot. So I'm just going to be switching in Color Strikers in the Hero Mickey slot. So for example, tomorrow is going to be Green Striker Day. So tomorrow I'm probably going to put in Simba because Simba is my best Green Striker with the Green Striker on his EX skill. He's my strongest Green Striker. I might be able to do it with Aladdin because Aladdin's also quite good as a Green Striker. And then on Orange Striker Day, I'll probably put in... let's see, on Orange Striker, what'll I do? I'll do Queen of Hearts, that's right. I'll probably do like Queen of Hearts. I might try Aurora, but I think Queen of Hearts is going to be the better one. So, yeah, because her Orange Striker is free damage. Yellow Striker Day, obviously I've got Doofy for Yellow Striker, so I might throw Donald in there. Or I might try out, what's his name? I might try... Felix and just see how he does on Yellow Striker Day. Now that we have 30 attempts to do it, I don't mind trying out a few different teams to figure out what's going to work because I've got plenty of opportunities to fix whatever's not working. But for now, I feel like I've got a pretty good core team, and I feel like this team is kind of the best foot that I can put forward since I don't have any of the since I don't have Ralph. I'm honestly not stressing about trying to get a top score this time. If I get top 50, I'll be happy. But I might just be have to be happy with a top 100 team this time around. But anyway, here's my team. I'll just quickly run through it for you. So Doofy, obviously here for the attack boost, as well as dealing some damage. So I've got my Doofy at 6-star, almost to a level 110. I've been kind of just slowly churning these guys up. He's got SP reduction 10% on him so that his skill only costs 14 SP, which is really helpful. With Hero Mickey, so he's just, level 90, but he's LB3, which is nice, so he comes innately with the SP reduction. And then I gave him SP charge on his EX skill because he's going to use his EX skill every turn. So that SP charge means that he's going to be churning out a little extra SP every turn, which is really nice. With Belle, so she's LB3, plus she's got 10% SP reduction, so her skill only costs 14, which is very, very helpful. In Boss Sim, SP economy is everything, so you want to try and reduce the amount of SP that you need for each turn, so you can just turn out as much damage as possible with as little SP as possible. Genie, also LB3 plus. I was only able to get max SP plus 5. I've been trying to roll some of the cheap seeds on him to try and get that max SP plus 10, but it just hasn't worked out for me. But that's what I would like to get on him, is a max SP plus 10 if I can manage it. Moana, also LB3, but she's got SP 20%, so her skill only costs 12 SP to cast, which is really nice. And she's the first unit I've gotten to level 110. So she was also the first unit that I got to got to 6-star. So it was only natural that she's the first unit to get to 110. And I love Moana because she's basically a striker for every day, since you can use her on any boss that is in rage mode. So, yeah, she's by far my strongest unit, and I love her. Yeah, obviously using the Brave Beat Miracle ability so that we can do like a big turn of SP and just, unload all of our skills for maximum damage. As always, everything's a little bit up to RNG, up to chance, but I'll do a couple of runs just to show you how the runs usually work, and how I managed to get through this boss with the score that I have. Okay. All right, so on turn 1, I'm actually going to guard Moana because the boss is going to do an AoE attack, and I want to make sure she does not drop below 80%, or else she won't do her EX skill anymore. I'm going to skill with Genie and Belle to make sure we have a level 5 attack buff for Moana. It also gives us our damage reduction and evasion. The boss does a lot of single target normal attacks, so evasion does work on those. Mickey, obviously, because he's a blue striker, but also for the defense break, because he'll do a level 2 defense break with his skill. Belle, obviously, for attack buffs and crits. And then Goofy's just going to do a normal attack. All right, hoping for some more crits. Come on, more crits. Man, not a single crit there. What happened? Okay. Now that is unfortunate. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and back out. That is like, it can happen, if he just decides to lay into one unit or something like that. That's a very rare thing to happen, but it does happen. The boss does hit hard, like I said. All right, so we're just going to reload and replay that one. All right, maybe we'll get better crits on this one too. There we go. A few more crits there. Ooh, nice. That was better. All right. So now on this one, we're going to do Doofy and Moana. That way we get our attack boost, and also Moana will get a chance to use her Rage Striker. Okay. Everyone else just does a normal attack here. Oh, nice. We got a crit on that one too. Oh man, please don't kill Mickey. Please don't kill Mickey. Holy cow, that's getting too close for comfort. Okay, now the boss does have some evasion, but it's only 40%, so don't feel like you have to guard on this one. So I'm actually going to do Doofy for another attack boost, and everyone else is just going to normal attack. Now there's a chance they might miss, but, hopefully not. Hopefully he doesn't kill Mickey. That would be really, really bad, especially because our crits have been really good this time. Wow, he's got something. He's got something he really doesn't like about Mickey. Mickey's probably going to die on this turn, just because the boss is going to do another AoE because we're going to push him into rage mode. All right. Actually, I think I'm just going to do everybody. Yeah. So we'll do everybody on this one, and yeah, next turn we're probably, unfortunately, not going to have Mickey. Now, you may be wondering, why am I doing Moana if we know we're going to get an AoE? Well, because I want her to get 2 Rage Strikers, and so since she's in slot 5, Doofy and Mickey are going to push the boss into rage mode before she does her skill. So she's going to get 2 rage strikers. She's going to get one this turn and then next turn. All right, so that's why I'm doing that. All right, let's go ahead and just unload everybody's skills here. Man, no crits on those. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, so this one's probably not going to be a great run because Mickey's almost certainly going to die. Yeah, from the AoE. And that's fine, you know, it is what it is. So now, yeah, because my Moana has the SP reduction, I've made it so that she can always use her skill on this turn. You may not be so lucky, obviously, but that way she gets the double Rage Striker. Just a better chance of... Ooh, nice, we got a crit on it too. It does suck that Mickey died, so that's a little bit less damage, but, you know, it is what it is. So... I actually got a new record. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think so. I've done the calculations in my DPS spreadsheet, which I'll link in the details below. Feel free to jump on and download a copy of my DPS spreadsheet. I have a tab in there strictly for Boss Battle Simulator. You can play around with it, figure out what the best optimization rotation optimization is for your team. So I think I figured out that if my team kind of does, the optimal run, we can probably crack 600,000. But yeah, it would have to be, everything would just have to go right. We'd have to hit all the crits in the right places. And so my average has been more like 540, as you can see there. But yeah, I'll do one more. I'll do maybe one more run, and I'll do a quick one just to see how we go and see if we can't maybe do a slightly better run. So again, defending Moana in anticipation of that AoE on turn 1. And yeah, we'll just see how we go here. Hopefully we'll get some good crits. That wasn't the best, but yeah, turn 1's usually kind of... Oh man, come on, don't kill my Doofy. Oh no, not Doofy. All right, leave Doofy alone. All right, oh no, I'm going to do Moana and Doofy on this one. Nah, no crit on that one, so not going to be as good. It's all right, it is what it is. Okay, and then we'll do Belle and Doofy. All right, so that our attack and our crit buffs are still stacked. Oh man, he dodged most of those. So this will be a low damage turn because he dodged most of those attacks. Oh, we got a fair amount of crits there though. Oh my gosh, he's just being very unfriendly to my whole team here. All right, let's do this thing. Just unload, and yeah, this is the turn where we want to unload as much as we can. Oh, nice, got 2 crits there. That's good. All right, but unfortunately, Doofy and Mickey are probably going to die. Yep. Jeez. That was a bad one. Okay. Well, yeah, this is pretty much a wasted run here. Yep, that was no good. Obviously, if I had like Ralph, I'd chuck him in place of Mickey and probably be doing like stupid amounts of damage, like some of the other people are. All right, I'll do one more. And just hope we get a better run on this one. See how we go. Oh man, where are my crits? Come on. All right, stop hitting Moana, bro. All right. And then this turn we do Doofy and... Oh, I don't have enough for Belle? Oh, that's some BS, right? Oh, no, that's right. I don't do Belle. I do Moana. Oh, wait, I don't have enough for Moana either? All right, well, this one's obviously not going to be a good run. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and back out. I think that's enough. I put you guys through enough on this one. So, anyways, you guys get the idea. The boss isn't that hard. You just got to survive the damage, and yeah, and just work your way around it. So thank you guys so much for following me. Hopefully this was helpful. Good luck with your own boss simulator. And don't forget to use your Premier Gacha tickets before October 7th. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you on the other side.